So here you can see, you can open up the button, and I have some stickers, 8 stickers in this one. There's also a cute little penguin book. I have this cute little horse, My Little Pony bracelet. This is a little crayon wheel. 6 colors in one. And there's also some erasers in here. Zoo erasers. I'm going to show you those. So these are actually erasers, really cute erasers. But I'm putting this onto the gift package label just because there's a choking hazard. Because these are going for Toys for Tots. Then you also have a little slinky that I was able to fit into here. This is how I packaged everything inside. Then you can take and just close up the button. And then the sweater helps to cover the little hidden compartment. I'm going to take and place this book in with the package with the snowman. In this video tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this adorable crochet snowman with the sweater and the scarf. You can make it where you make your own eyes and without the secret compartment, like this snowman that goes with the baby set. Or you can make it like the one where I use the safety eyes, just like this snowman, and the secret compartment in this snowman, and then all the little toys that go inside the secret compartment. Then I show you the differences in how I made this large snowman. This smaller snowman measures about approximately 12 inches tall, and then the larger snowman is 24 inches tall. For this crochet project, you're going to need your 3.75 millimeter crochet hook for the main part of the snowman. I also used my 6 millimeter crochet hook for the outfit, parts of the outfit. You're also going to need a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. The yarn that I used for the main part of the snowman is my Craft Smart value yarn. The color is white. Here's more information. You could use a Red Heart equivalent yarn also, or a medium 4. This is an acrylic yarn. The buttons that I used are bell buttons by Dritz. Comes in a pack of 3. You can sew your button on with a sewing needle and thread, but I like this button because I can use my tapestry needle and use yarn to sew the button in place. If you're going to do that, then you need to make sure that your tapestry needle is able to fit through your button. And you're going to need your DMC yarn threader to help you get the yarn through the tapestry needle and the button. Some of the yarn that I used in my project was the Red Heart Super Saver. This color is Patty Green. I love this yarn, metallic, Christmas color. Some of my leftover yellow yarn from Pound of Love yarn. For the snowman that I made for the baby blanket, I used my black yarn. This is the Red Heart equivalent medium 4 acrylic yarn you could use for the eyes to make your own. And then for the snowman that I filled with gifts, I used my 15 millimeter solid black safety eyes by Doris. For the nose, I made the same way that I did for the soft eyes if you use your yarn for the eyes. This yarn, you could use a Red Heart equivalent orange yarn. This orange yarn is by, I love this cotton, 100% cotton yarn. If you want to place your pink cheeks, just use your medium 4 pink colored yarn. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver, and the color for this one is Pretty in Pink, some of my leftover yarn. You can have fun and place some fun buttons on the top of the snowman hat if you want. I'm going to use my Make It Christmas Parts for Holiday Projects buttons. We're going to start with the magic circle. Just take the yarn, drape it across your 4 fingers, use your thumb to stabilize. Wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then take your 3.75mm crochet hook, put it under those 2 loops around the middle fingers, bring up a loop, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for a slip knot. Then you're going to place 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So you just go under those 2 loops around the middle fingers, bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through both loops for a single crochet. This is my 3rd one, 4th, then just take your 4-finger and thumb and go to the base of the 6 single crochet. You have 2 loops on the opposite side of the 6 single crochet. Just take one of them and close. If it doesn't close, let go and pull on the other one, but this one's closing it. And you just close it as much as you can. Don't worry if you don't get it completely closed, because we can close it more later. Then take the loose yarn in and pull on that. Then just turn your work. We're going to start in the first stitch. So go into that first stitch with your crochet hook, and you're going to place 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And you're going to place 2 single crochet in every stitch around until you have a total of 12 stitches. I'll do one more with you. And then go ahead, finish making 2 single crochet in every stitch around until you have a total of 12, and then come back. Now, if you have a little bit of an opening in the center of your magic circle, just turn your work over and pull on that loose yarn end on the back, and then that will close up the center of the magic circle. Now you're going to need a yarn marker. I just use one of my scraps of yarn, place it right where you left off. We're going to start our increase rounds, meaning that we're going to keep increasing the number of stitches around the circle. For the first increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the same stitch for the second stitch. Then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. So go ahead, repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker, and then come back. Then you can go ahead and take your yarn marker and move it up. For the next increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch. Then go ahead, repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch. Then for the next increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the fourth stitch. For those of you that already know how to do the increase rounds, we're going to be increasing to 1 single crochet into 6 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 7th stitch. Yes, I think you've got it now. For the next increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 4 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 5th stitch. Repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Then for the next increase round, 1 single crochet into 5 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 6th stitch. After this round, we'll have one more last increase round. Then for the last increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 6 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 7th stitch, repeating that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. You should have had 48 stitches after completing that last increase round. Now go ahead and move your yarn marker up, and for the next 12 rounds you should have 48 stitches. You shouldn't have less or more because we're not making any decrease or increase rounds. So every time you pass your yarn marker now, you would have completed 48 stitches around. So now go ahead and make 1 single crochet in every stitch for 12 rounds. Don't remove your yarn marker, just leave it in place to help you keep track of your rounds. This is what your work should look like now. A perfect little cup. And I finished 12 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Now we're ready to make the face of the snowman. So you can leave this work a larger loop so it doesn't come undone in the back. And then we're going to work on placing the face on the front of the snowman. I'm going to show you how to make the nose first, because if you're making your own eyes, then you would make it the same way that you did for the nose, except you would use your black yarn. What you would do is just place the yarn across your 4 fingers, use your thumb to stabilize, wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers, and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Take your crochet hook, go under those 2 loops, bring up a loop. Then you're going to place 6 single crochet into the magic circle, just like we did for the head. Then just take your forefinger and thumb and hold it at the base of the 6 single crochet, and then just close it. Then just turn your work and then place 2 single crochet in every stitch around for a total of 12. And then come back. Now you can take your work, turn it over, and pull on that loose yarn end to close up the center of the magic circle. Then you're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. Just take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over, then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then you're going to finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the nose or your eyes onto the snowman. Now you can sew the eyes that you made in place. For mine, I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches in between the safety eyes, and I counted down from the magic circle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you wanted to place yours the same as mine, and then you would just sew, if you made your eyes, then you would just sew those in place. Then you take your nose, place it right where the line is beneath the eyes, place the nose, center it there, and then sew it in place. Then just take your black yarn and put it onto your tapestry needle. We're going to make the mouth. So you just take, and I'm coming up on the same level as the bottom of the nose, about 2 stitches over on the side. Come out with my black yarn, and then I'm going to go down 1 row and 1 stitch over. And then I'm going to tie a knot on the inside. Then I'm going to come back up 1 row down and a stitch over. Make sure that you don't tangle up the back that you left. We're going to come back to that later. Then you're just going to go across 2 stitches. And then up 1 row and 1 stitch over. And then up 1 row, 1 stitch over for the other side of the smile. If you wanted, you could go over 2 stitches over, but I'm going to make mine a little bit of a crooked smile on purpose. For the cheeks, I made it the same way as the nose, except I'm making it only 6 single crochet. I'm going to show you how I did that. So you start with the magic circle, the same way that you did for if you made your own eyes and your own nose for your snowman. You're going to put 6 single crochet into the magic circle. You're going to close it up the same way. Then, instead of making 12 stitches around, you're going to close it with the 6. So you just make your slip stitch into the next stitch over. And then just finish off. Bring enough through to sew the cheeks onto your snowman. You can close up the center of the magic circle by turning it over and pulling on that loose yarn end, and then you'll need 2 of these for the cheeks. This is what mine looks like after sewing the cheeks on. You can see how I lined it up 2 stitches over from the nose, and from the top of the nose and the eyes about 2 rows down on both sides. Now we're ready to start our decrease rounds, or single crochet 2 stitches together. Just take your yarn marker, move it up to where you left off. Then you're going to take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over, and you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. Then you're going to make your decrease stitch, or your single crochet 2 stitches together. Go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through all 3 loops for a decrease stitch. Now you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. 1 single crochet into 6 stitches, and then make your decrease stitch all the way around. For the next decrease round, go ahead and move your yarn marker up to where you left off. This time you're going to make 1 single crochet into 5 stitches, and then make your decrease stitch. Then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now you can see what I mean by decrease rounds, because it's slowly closing the head. The hole is getting smaller and smaller. For the next decrease round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 4 stitches, and then your decrease stitch, repeating that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now you could take your craft stuffing. I just use an inexpensive pillow and then use that for my craft stuffing. Place it into the head. Then we're going to go ahead and finish closing. Continue to finish closing, and you can continue to stuff it with more craft stuffing if you need to. Then you probably already know our next decrease round. This next decrease round is going to be 1 single crochet into 3 stitches. And then you're going to make your decrease stitch or single crochet 2 stitches together. Then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. For the next decrease round, 1 single crochet into 2 stitches and then your decrease stitch. Repeating that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. For the next round, it's 1 single crochet in 1 stitch and then your decrease stitch. Repeating that pattern all the way around. You can see how I'm almost closed. Now you can go ahead and remove your yarn marker, and we are just going to make decrease stitches all the way around until you're almost closed. I'm just going to close this up with you. So I'm just making decrease stitches all the way around until I can't make decrease stitches anymore, and then I'm going to show you how to slip stitch it closed. This will be my last decrease stitch. Now I'm going to slip stitch it closed. So then you just take and skip a stitch and then go into the next stitch over. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down, bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. And then you're going to slip stitch it closed, skip a stitch and slip stitch until you're closed, which I've just closed it. So now I'm going to finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Then just take your tapestry needle and put the loose yarn end onto your tapestry needle. Go right in where you finished off and come out anywhere on the head. And then just cut your loose yarn end. Now your head is finished. You can set it aside for now. Now for the body, you're going to start it the exact same way that you did for the head with your magic circle. So if you need to go back to the part where I made the head, you can do that, because I'm not going to show you each of the increase rounds. So again, the body is made just like you did for the head. So I'm just going to show you the magic circle. And then you close it the same way. If you need to, you can go back to where I made the head, started making the head, and then again you're going to make the 2 single crochet into every stitch around until you have a total of 12. And then you go ahead and make your increase rounds, 1 single crochet into 6 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 7th stitch. So you're going to increase all the way up the same way you did for the head. Now, if you went back and completed your increase rounds and stopped with the 1 single crochet into 6 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 7th stitch, this is the point, or what your work should look like so far. You should have finished up with 48 stitches around. Now we're going to make 2 more increase rounds. So you just take your crochet hook and your yarn marker, take your yarn marker, move it up to where you left off. For the next increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 7 stitches. And then 2 single crochet into the 8th stitch. And then come back. And again, we're only going to make 2 more increase rounds. Then for the last increase round for the body of your snowman, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 8 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 9th stitch, repeating that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Then, after that last increase round, you should have a total of 60 stitches around. So now for each round that you make for the next 11 rounds, you're going to have 60 stitches each time you pass the yarn marker. So you're going to make one single crochet into each stitch for 11 rounds and then come back. I finished 11 rounds of one single crochet in every stitch. You should have a bowl shape for the bottom portion of the body. Now we're going to make our decrease rounds. We're going to decrease the number of stitches in the round. Just take your crochet hook, place it right where you left off. Then you're going to make one single crochet into the next 8 stitches. Then you're going to make your decrease stitch. Go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Then you're going to make one single crochet into the next 7 stitches and then a decrease stitch. We're going to keep decreasing until we get one single crochet into 5 stitches and then the decrease stitch. One single crochet into 6 stitches and then your decrease stitch. Then for your last decrease round, one single crochet into 5 stitches and then your decrease stitch. For those of you that are making the snowman that doesn't have the compartment on the inside, you would just continue on like normal. But for those of you that want to make the compartment in the inside, then you're going to make another crochet cup just like you did for the head. Remember, for the head you had the magic circle and then you increased to 1 in 6, one single crochet into 6 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 7th stitch. For the head you made one single crochet in every stitch for 12 rounds. But for the inner compartment, you're only going to make 9 rounds. So 9 rounds of one single crochet in every stitch for the inner compartment. You can use some of your white yarn to make the inner compartment, or I love this yarn Sparkly, the glitter, that metallic sheen that's inside of it. I use that for mine. You're going to want to place a little bit of stuffing on the inside of the bottom portion of the body, but leave room for the cup that you're going to place on the inside, the inner compartment that you finished. Then I used the same colored yarn as the outer snowman body to sew the inner compartment in place. You're going to want to sew the inner compartment 1 row down. So leave 1 row up above the inner compartment, 1 row down. And then you'll start from the inside with your tapestry needle and then sew the inner compartment in place. So I'm leaving 1 row above the inner compartment. Make sure that you leave enough yarn on the inside for tying a knot and burying your loose yarn end. And then finish sewing the inner compartment in place. Just sew it all the way around with your tapestry needle. This is what mine looks like with the inner compartment. Now we're going to make a single crochet into the next 10 stitches. So make 1 single crochet into the next 10 stitches and then come back. Now you're going to make a chain of 26 I'm going to make 4 of them with you. And then you go ahead and finish a chain of 26 and then come back. After you finish your chain of 26, then you're just going to kind of lay that chain of 26 over your work and then make a single crochet into the stitch right before the yarn marker. Then make one more round of 1 single crochet in every stitch. When you get to your chain of 26, come back. I'm at the chain of 26 now. You're just going to continue into the chain. So 1 single crochet in each of the stitches on the chain, all the way back to the yarn marker. This is what your work should look like so far. You have the top that you just finished. Now you're going to leave this for now, and you're going to make a top or a lid. You're going to make this lid the exact same way that you did for the head. So if you need to go back, you can go back if you need to. But you're going to start with the magic circle, and then you're going to increase. And you're going to increase until, just like you did for the head, 1 single crochet into 6 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 7th stitch. And then when you get to this point, come back and I'll show you what to do next. Now, when you finish your last round, you're going to take your crochet hook and make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. So just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook. Then you're going to make a chain of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be your button loop. So after you finish your chain of 8, you're going to make a slip stitch into the same stitch. So go back down into the same stitch and make a slip stitch. So you just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch, and you formed a button loop. Then finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. I'm actually pulling enough yarn through to sew this onto my snowman. You can take your tapestry needle and put it onto the loose yarn end on the wrong side of the lid. Just take and weave the loose yarn end through the back or wrong side of the top, and then just trim the loose yarn end. Now you're going to take your tapestry needle and put it onto the long end that you left for sewing, or the same colored yarn as your lid. Then you're going to take and place the lid into the inside of the body, meaning that underneath that rim. And you want to line it up so that the buttonhole will be in the front. So you want the buttonhole in the front of the opening. Just line it up. And then once you have it lined up, then you're going to take your tapestry needle and you're going to go through, but you want to go through the bottom portion of the top opening, because you want that top row available for crocheting into. So you want to go into the bottom row to sew the lid in place. So you just take your yarn and just sew all along the bottom row and sewing the lid to the opening that you created. This is how my work looks when I'm finished. You can see how it makes a little cup that goes into the body so we can finish crocheting along the top portion. But before we continue, we're going to go ahead and sew our button in place. So you're going to take your tapestry needle that you're using to sew your button on, or you can use your sewing needle and thread, whatever you want to do. Take your DMC yarn threader, go through the eye of the tapestry needle, go ahead and hook your yarn that you're going to sew the button on with. Bring the hook right back through the eye of the needle and just move the DMC yarn threader up and down, and then that'll bring the yarn right through. Then you could sew your button in place. Make sure you line it up so that your button loop will close over the button. This is what my button looks like after I've sewn it in place. And the button loop will fit right over the button, closing the lid to the bottom portion of the body. Now we're going to finish the top portion of the body. Now, for those of you that didn't want the compartment portion of the body, you're just going to continue crocheting as if there was never any pause for me to show how to make the compartment. For those of you that made the compartment, make sure that you only crochet with the lid portion. You don't want to close up your compartment. So you will be crocheting only on the lid portion. Now you're going to need your yarn marker, and you're going to make 1 single crochet into 5 stitches. So 1 single crochet into 5 stitches. And then 2 single crochet into the 6th stitch. Then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker and then come back. For the next increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 6 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 7th stitch. After this increase round, we'll have 1 more increase round. This is how my work looks so far after I finished the increase rounds. Now you're ready to make the upper portion, meaning that you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around for the next 10 rounds. So 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So that means you'll have the same number of stitches each time you pass the yarn marker. You're not making it any larger. So 1 single crochet in every stitch for the next 10 rounds. After you finish your 10 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch, this is how mine looks so far, then we can start our decrease rounds. So you're going to take your yarn marker and move it up and make 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches. Then you can make your decrease stitch and then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. 1 single crochet into 6 stitches and then your decrease stitch, repeating that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. 1 single crochet into 5 stitches and then the decrease stitch. 1 single crochet into 4 stitches and then your decrease stitch. Now you can go ahead and use your craft stuffing and stuff the upper portion of the body. Then make your next decrease round of 1 single crochet into 3 stitches and then your decrease stitch, repeating that pattern all the way around. Then 1 single crochet into 2 stitches and then your decrease stitch. 1 single crochet and then your decrease stitch. Then you can just make decrease stitches all the way around until you can't make decrease stitches anymore. And then we're going to slip stitch it closed. So now I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch it closed. So you just skip a stitch, go into the next stitch over, yarn over, and turn the hook upside down and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch until it's completely closed. Then you can go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Then, just like you did for the head, you just take the tapestry needle, put it onto the loose yarn end, go anywhere, go right through where you finished off and then anywhere out of the body, and then just trim your loose yarn end. Now we're going to show you how to make this sweater, and I'm going to make the sweater match the hat. I'm using yellow and green. For the hat, there's a separate video tutorial. This is my crochet Santa doll hat. You make it exactly the same way, and it fits the snowman perfectly. This hat also fits the penguin. You could see how I used the same method with the light blue and the pink for my penguin hat. You're going to go ahead and start with the yarn color that you want for the bottom portion of the sweater. If you want to make it exactly like I did for the hat, then you would combine the two yarn colors that you want and then just crochet with them as if they were one. But for the sweater, I'm going to start with the yellow colored. This is going to be the bottom portion of the sweater. Just take your yarn colors, fold the yarn over on itself to form a loop. I'm using my 6mm crochet hook to make the sweater. Hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb, then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for a slip knot. Now you're going to make a chain of 50. I'm only going to show you 4 of them. Go ahead, finish a chain of 50 and then come back. Then you're going to take and hold the last stitch that you made with your middle finger and your thumb, and then you're going to make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet for the next row. Now you're going to make a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, which is the stitch that you're holding. Just yarn over, go into the 4th chain from your hook, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through 2 loops, and then yarn over and go through the last 2 for a double crochet. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch back across. I'll make 1 more with you, and then go ahead, finish making 1 double crochet in every stitch back across. This is what mine looks like after finishing the double crochet in every stitch. Now go ahead and take and fold your work in half. Make sure you don't twist it. We're going to form a circle. Then take your crochet hook, go into that top stitch of the first chain 3 that you made. So you're going into that top stitch of the first chain 3 that you made. Then you're just going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through both loops for a slip stitch. Then you can go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through for tying a knot and burying your loose yarn end. Now you're going to take and sew the bottom of the ring together. So just take your tapestry needle, put it onto the loose yarn end on the bottom, and then you're just going to join the bottom of the ring. And then you can just tie a knot. Make sure you don't have a gap when you're joining the bottom portion. We can bury the loose yarn ends later. So you can see how I formed a ring. Now you're going to have the right side facing you, you're going to join the new colored yarn, and I'm using green. So just loop your new colored yarn, bring it through, then chain 1, and then tie a knot with the loose yarn ends. Then we're going to start our Trinity stitch around. You could use double crochet if you still wanted to, but I want to use a different design. So I love the look of the Trinity stitch, so I'm going to show you that stitch. Just go into the next stitch over, go behind your loose yarn ends, bring up a loop for a single crochet. Then you're going to go back into the same stitch you just made the single crochet in, bring up a loop, go into the next stitch over, go behind your loose yarn ends, bring up a loop, go into the next stitch over, go behind your loose yarn ends, bring up a loop. Then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through all 4 to form the decrease or Trinity stitch. Then chain 1 to complete the Trinity stitch. Go into the same stitch you just finished, behind the loose yarn ends, bring up a loop, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, next stitch over, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, go through all 4 loops, then chain 1. And you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around back to where you started, and then come back. Now I'm back to where I started. I just finished my last Trinity stitch, and you're just going to keep repeating the same pattern all the way around until you have the length that you want for your sweater. So just keep working in rounds. Don't forget your chain 1. You're going into the same stitch that you just finished your last Trinity stitch. And just keep repeating the pattern all the way around. You can also have fun with it if you want. I just finished my second round and I'm back to where my loose yarn end is, so I know that's where I started. And I want to change colors again. So I'm just going to take and go into the same stitch I just finished my last Trinity stitch, bring up a loop. I'm going to bring in my new color. I'm going to loop my new color. Chain 1. And then tie a knot. I'm going to cut my previous colored yarn, and then I'm just going to start crocheting with my new color. So I'm going to go back into the same stitch that I just finished my Trinity stitch, bring up a loop. I'm going behind my loose yarn ends, go into the next stitch behind the loose yarn ends, and then I'm just going to start with my new color, making Trinity stitches all the way around. So you can have fun with the colors and create your own designs. So you can see how I'm back after one round. I'm going to show you how I change colors again. Going back into the same stitch I just finished, my last Trinity stitch. And then I'm going to join my green colored yarn again. And then chain 1. Then I'm going to cut my previous colored yarn. Tie a knot. Then I'm just going to go into the same stitch, going behind my loose yarn ends, bring up a loop, go into the next stitch, and I'm just going to keep crocheting the Trinity stitch with the chain 1 all the way around. And for mine, I'm going to make 2 green and then switch to the multicolored. Oops, it's only 3, I want 4. For only 1 round. So 2 green and then 1 of the multicolored. Then you can take and slip stitch after you finish your rounds. So for mine, I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds, alternating colors. Then I'm going to slip stitch into my next stitch over. Then I'm going to join my new color, which is going to be the yellow colored yarn for the top of the sweater. So you just take and hook the new colored yarn, bring it through the loop, chain 1, then you can take and cut the previous colored yarn and tie a knot. Now I'm going to be showing you the decrease round and how to make a double crochet decrease. The first thing you're going to do to start this round is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet for the round. The next stitch is going to be a double crochet decrease. So you're going to yarn over, going to go into the next stitch over, go behind your loose yarn ends, bring up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2 of the loops. Then you have 2 loops remaining. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, 3 loops remaining, yarn over and go through 3 for a double crochet decrease stitch. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then you're going to make your double crochet decrease stitch. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, 2 loops remaining, yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, then yarn over and go through 3 for a double crochet decrease stitch. Go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the beginning. I'm going to make 1 more set with you. Double crochet into the next stitch, and then a double crochet decrease stitch. So now I'm back to where I started. I finished with the double crochet decrease stitch. Then I'm going to go into the top stitch of that first chain 3 that I made. So the top stitch. Then I'm going to make a slip stitch. Then I'm going to go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Now you can go ahead and bury any of your loose yarn ends. Now go ahead and place the sweater onto the body of the snowman, putting the back of the sweater towards the back of the snowman. Then you're going to take the head, position the head so that the head is facing towards the front, and then sew it in place with your tapestry needle. Just take your tapestry needle and go through the body and then through the head. If you come out of the head, go back through the head down into the body, and then back where you first came out. And then just tie a knot. Then you can take and go through the body, back up through the head, and then just sew all the way around the head to the body. As you're sewing, make sure that your head is facing forward, along lining with the button or the front of your snowman. Now I'm going to show you how to make the arm for the snowman. Just take your white yarn, and I'm using my 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to start with the magic circle, just like we did before. You're going to place 6 single crochet into the magic circle. Then, just like we did before, you're going to turn your work. You're going to go into the first stitch, and then you're going to make 2 single crochet into the same stitch, and 2 single crochet in every stitch around until you have a total of 12. Then for the next increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet in one stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. Then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. For the last increase round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch, and repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Then you're going to take your yarn marker, move it up, and you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around for a total of 8 rounds. So 8 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch around. After you finish 8 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch, go ahead and move your yarn marker up for a decrease round. You're going to make 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then you're going to make your decrease stitch. So 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then your decrease stitch. Repeating that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Then go ahead and move your yarn marker up, and you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around for 6 rounds. So 6 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch around. After you finish your 6 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch, then you can go ahead and take your yarn marker out. We're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. Then you're going to go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the ends together. Now you're going to get your craft stuffing to stuff into the arm. Then just take your tapestry needle, put it onto the long end that you left for sewing, or the same colored yarn after you finished stuffing the arm, and then just sew the ends together. Tie a knot, and then bury your loose yarn ends. And then when you come back, I'm going to show you how to make the sleeves for the sweater. Now I'm going to show you how to make the sleeve. This is the bottom portion of the sleeve and the top portion of the sleeve. Start with the color of yarn that you want for the bottom portion of the sleeve. Fold it over on itself to form a loop. I'm using my 6 millimeter crochet hook. Put it right through the loop. Hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and thumb. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for your slip knot. Then you're going to make a chain. I'm just going to make 4 of them with you. It's 1, 2, So go ahead, finish making a chain of 26 and then come back. This is what mine looks like after making a chain of 26. Now you're going to make a half double crochet into the third chain from the hook. So you yarn over, go into the third chain from the hook, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through all 3 loops for a half double crochet. Then you're going to make 1 half double crochet in every stitch back across. So I'll make 1 more with you. Then, after you finish your last half double crochet, go ahead and fold your work together to form a ring. Make sure you don't twist it. Go into the top stitch of that first chain 2. You're going to make a slip stitch joining the round. Then you can go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and bring enough yarn through to tie a knot and bury a loose yarn end. Go ahead and turn your work so that you can take the bottom part of the ring, that loose yarn end on the bottom. Take your tapestry needle and join the bottom portion. So now you have a complete ring joining the bottom portion of the sleeve into a ring. Then, with the right side facing you, go ahead and take your crochet hook, go into that same stitch where you finished off. Grab your new color yarn, in my case it's the green yarn. You're going to hook the yarn and bring it through. Chain 1, and then go ahead and tie a knot. Then you're ready to make 3 rounds of treble crochets. I mean, not treble crochets, trinity stitches. So 3 rounds of trinity stitches, just like you made your trinity stitch on the sweater. You're going to make the trinity stitch on the sleeve. When you're finished with 3 rounds, go ahead and come back and I'll show you what to do next. After you finish your 3rd round of trinity stitches, then you're going to take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over, yarn over, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the sleeve onto the arm and onto your snowman. Go ahead and bury your loose yarn end at the bottom. Then you're going to take your arm, place the sleeve over the arm, and then line it up with the top of the sweater. Then you're just going to take and crochet the sleeve to the arm, and at the same time you're going to be crocheting the arm to the body of the snowman. To make the scarf, you start with a chain of 50. I'm using my 6mm crochet hook for the scarf. Then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and make a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, and then make 1 double crochet in every stitch back across. Then, after you finish your last double crochet, go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Now I'm going to show you how to put the tassels on the ends of your scarf. I was able to put just one tassel on each end, so I've already made one end. I'm going to show you how to create the tassel on the other end. I took all of my yarn pieces that I wanted, the colors that I wanted in the tassel on the end, which was all the colors in the sweater, the yellow, the green, and the multicolored. And then you're just going to fold it over on itself about 6 to 8 inches, whatever length you want for your tassels. You can always trim it when you're done. So fold it over on itself, then fold it over on itself one more time. And then just trim the ends of the yarn. Then you're going to take the end of your scarf, go right under that last double crochet on the end, in that gap under the last double crochet on each end. You're going to take and grab the center of the strands of yarn and then just bring up a loop with all the strands of yarn. Then you're going to take your fingers and go right into that loop. You're going to grab the other end of all of the strands of yarn and bring them through the loop and then cinch it down. Then you can take and trim and cut the ends of the loops on the scarf. These are pretty equal in length, so I'm just going to leave it. Then you can take and put the scarf onto your snowman. Now you're finished with your snowman, and you can go ahead and fill your snowman with toys now. I'm going to show you what toys I put into this snowman. I used a medium gift package by Celebrate It. This snowman is approximately 12 inches in size. When I put the little toys that go inside of the snowman in the gift package, I'm actually putting them inside of an extra small package that will go into the larger gift package. Then I place the snowman in the larger gift package. You can see the smaller one inside and the book inside. Now I'm going to make the tag that goes on it. I have a separate video tutorial that shows how I made these. These are the labels. I'm going to put the information about what's inside the package also on the label. Actually, I'm going to put this one first. And then I'm going to place this one. Then I also have a little ornament. Hang the little ornament on there. And then I'm just going to tie a knot with the yarn. Then I have this little inexpensive bow that I'm going to place onto the top. Then this snowman's all ready to go. Here is the other snowman. This one doesn't have a secret compartment. I also made the eyes. So both of the black eyes are made the same way as the orange nose. And there's no cheeks, no pink cheeks on this one. The sweater I made with using light blue and a white colored yarn and crocheting as if they were one. And then this is the colors that I used for the hat. If you like the blanket, I have a separate video tutorial that shows you how to make a crochet border on a receiving blanket. But on this one, instead of the shell design, I used the same cross stitch that I used in my Heavenly Blessing scarf. And then the baby hat is made the same way as the snowman's hat. except you start with a chain of 50. For the larger snowman, for the body of the snowman, the increased rounds, I did 1 single crochet into 14 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 15th stitch. Then I made 46 rows of 1 single crochet into every stitch. For the sweater, I only made double crochet. I just used double crochet to make the sweater instead of making the Trinity stitches. For the arms, I used my 6mm crochet hook and increased to 1 single crochet into 3 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 4th stitch. And then I just changed colors for the top part of the sweater and then sewed it on to the larger snowman on each side. The head, you can see that I made the nose, I made 1 increase round after 1 single crochet into 1 stitch and then 2 single crochet into the 2nd stitch to make it a little bit larger than the smaller snowman. The eyes are made the same way. And then to make the head for mine, I increased to 1 single crochet into 8 stitches and then 2 single crochet into the 9th stitch. And then the standard sized adult hat, you can use that, one of the inexpensive ones to sew onto the snowman's head, or you can make your own. And then here's how I packaged the larger snowman. You can see the cute little ornament that goes with this one. And then the book that I chose was Good Night, Sleep Tight. It's by Claire Friedman and Rory Tiger.